Good morning, Baltimore District. We're about to get started, and I formally welcome you to the 2019 Baltimore District Town Hall and Awards Ceremony. I'm Chris Augsburger, the Chief of Corporate Communication, and today I'm serving as your Master of Ceremonies. To properly kick off today's festivities, we'll first honor our country. Please stand if you are able for the playing of our national anthem. You may be seated. Can anybody in the back hear me? Do I need to yell louder? We're good? Thank you. All right, very good. All right, today's event is being streamed live to our teammates throughout the district, thanks to our ACET VI team and service members from the Defense Media Activity. For those tuning in from our field offices, thank you for being part of today's event. Today's award presentation will be followed by a town hall with Colonel Litz and the entire corporate board. If any of you folks in the field have questions that you'd like to ask, or if you're sitting out here and want to text it to us, you can email it to the cnab-cc@usace.army.mil email address. That's cnab-cc. I'd also like to take this time to recognize any members of ours who are partners of ours who are here for today's event, and any of those Baltimore District retirees who've chosen to attend with us today. If you are here, please stand to be recognized. All right. Will, you are a brave soul. and finally, since we'll be taking pictures during the event today, I ask that if you're wearing your CAT card, to go ahead and remove your badges, especially if you're coming on stage. To begin today's ceremony, I want to first celebrate the lives of three members of our core family who passed away this year. George Demings, Owen Blake, and Jim Snyder were three employees who made positive and lasting impacts to our nation. An enthusiastic contract specialist, one of the newest members of the Washington Aqueduct family, and a 40-year public servant. These three individuals represented the very best of who we are as an organization and as a core family. I ask that you all join me in observing a moment of silence in honoring their legacy and service to our nation. Thank you. To start off today, I'd like to invite Colonel Litz and Dave Morrow to please come up and say a few words.
Okay. Hey, good morning, almost afternoon, and welcome to the town hall. This, traditionally is the longest town hall we do in a year. You're going to see, we're going to go through some awards up front, and then we're going to do some recognitions, and then we're going to have some time I'll talk to you about, a few things I think you should know and of interest, and then we'll do some Q&A at the end. So that's how today will go. But I just wanted to say up front, this is a positive day. We're going to see, we're so focused on, solving problems and finding, things that are broken and fixing them. I think that's in most of our nature to do that. And I sat through 5 or 6 hours of PRBs yesterday with many of you out here. And all we talk about is, all we have time to talk about are the projects that have problems or the issues of the day. And so I think it's really nice that we carve out some time, at least a few times a year, to get together and see each other and talk and celebrate the things that are going well. And there are many things going well in this district. One of the largest districts in USACE, with one of the largest workloads across the board. Every mission area in USACE represented within this district, and hitting home runs all the time. And we don't thank the employees of the district enough for what they do. So that's how I want to kick off the town hall. Just hang on. If you need to get up and take a break and hit the restroom or whatever during the event, you just please do so quietly, and we'll go from there. But thanks for being here today. It's good to see everybody, and I'm going to pass the mic to our DPM, Dave Morrow.
Good morning. Thank you. So as Colonel Litt said, in a moment we're going to recognize some individuals and some project teams. And it may go without saying, but I think it's important to say it anyway, that these teams really represent the hundreds of incredibly successful PDTs, project delivery teams, that we have in the Baltimore district. So we've had an amazing and very, very busy year. And the Corps of Engineers is really a project-driven organization comprised of hundreds and thousands of project delivery teams. And if you look at it from the enterprise level, we're really a team of teams. So I just wanted to say I am incredibly proud and honored to serve what I think is the highest performing team in the Corps of Engineers, the Baltimore district. So thank you very much.
So this is Inspector David Sheets. Most of you that are in 2HP have probably seen him around. He is our Federal Protective Service officer that has the Baltimore District and 2HP in his portfolio under his responsibility to provide protection for. Since I've taken command, Inspector Sheets has done many things to help this command, and also just really helped a few individuals, particularly one in this district, and that's what I want to talk about right now. Many of you know the story I'm about to tell. On 18 January, I was sitting in a meeting up in the executive office, and I got interrupted by Emily Schiffmacher, Ron Mai's deputy of the Engineering Division, kind of panicked. She interrupted the meeting, and she informed me that Ron's wife, Terry, didn't arrive home the night before, where she was TDY in Brooklyn, up at our headquarters, our NAD headquarters, the day before, and that Ron had filed a missing persons report, and he and his daughter were doing what they could to find her. So we immediately kind of stopped what we were doing and thought for a second and wiped the agenda for the day, and started thinking, what can we do at work, to possibly help the situation. One of the things we thought to do was contact Inspector Sheets on the outside chance that he would have some advice for us, and could possibly tell us how we could help. The missing persons report had been filed with the police. You would think that we'd done all we could. So Sarah Robert, Chief of Staff, called him, and David, I think you were headed somewhere else that day. You had a day planned, and you basically dropped what you were doing and diverted to yourself immediately to Amtrak because Terry was riding the Amtrak train. That was the last time, that transportation system was the last time anybody saw her, somewhere around Philadelphia. And so David headed over to Amtrak. A series of events unfolded, where David was working feverishly with the Amtrak police to get pictures of Terry so they could screen footage, try to find out where was the last place the cameras saw her, and a whole host of other things. Once he got, about an hour had passed, maybe an hour and a half. Once he had, got things set in motion, he personally started looking for her. Found her in the parking garage, unresponsive, where she had been in freezing weather for several hours. I think maybe 14 hours maybe. So, no pulse. He busted the window out, got her out, no pulse. Could see her, that she was still trying to breathe. Called the district. Ron was on the phone, relaying medical history. David was taking the medical history, relaying it to emergency medical services that were there on site, trying to figure out which hospital to get her to. And, we were, it was a situation where minutes and seconds probably mattered. And so after, months of recovery, Terry's here today. So, come on up. So Terry's here with her daughter and her sister. Yep, sister. She's right there. Yep. And Terry, I'm going to pass the mic to you. You okay?
Yeah. So I don't know how to go about thanking somebody for saving one's life, but I know you went way above and beyond the call of duty, and I'm just so grateful and so appreciative. To me, one of the noblest things that anybody can do in their lifetime is to save a life. You can always replace a broken car window. You can replace a broken piece of furniture, but every one of us is unique and special to somebody. And so for me, I had two parents that were worried sick. I'm a sibling, so this is my sister. I'm a mom, so this is one of my two children, and I'm a spouse. So it meant so much, not just to me, but a lot of other people, and I just can't thank you enough for saving a life. Like I said, that's one of the noblest things anybody can do. So thank you so much, and I'm so glad I got to meet you a little bit ahead of time, and my family got to talk to you and express our appreciation kind of offline, but thank you so very much. Okay. And I'm still battling one infection, so I'm not going to be hugging you, but I would love to when I'm feeling better. So thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks, Terry. So David is very humble. He did not want to stand up here today and hear this story, even though he's in like full combat gear and he's like 6'5", and but I think the least we can do is to recognize David and for his actions that day, and we're going to do that here in a minute. He's also the force behind active shooter training and coordinating that effort for the district so that we can be a little more prepared on what would be our worst day ever. He coordinates, the dog to come through, the working dog to come through our facilities and make sure we're safe. And he makes recommendations for our safety and security, which we'll talk a little bit later in the town hall. So, let's go ahead. Chris? Hit it. So this is the Department of the Army's Meritorious Public Service Medal that is signed by Lieutenant General Semonite, and Chris is going to read the citation, and go ahead.
Department of the Army Meritorious Public Service Medal for David A. Sheets for meritorious service on January 18, 2019, in support of the Baltimore District U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Inspector Sheets' decisive actions and concerns for the well-being of others resulted in saving the life of a Baltimore District employee. His selfless service and unwavering commitment to the Baltimore District are in keeping with the highest standards of public service. His actions reflect great credit upon him, the Federal Protective Service, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, and the Department of Homeland Security. Signed, Lieutenant General Todd T. Semonite, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Commander.
So I told David I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to give him a chance to say something if he wants to. So I'm going to see if he wants to hand the mic. All right, you'll see him around the district. Thank you, David. All right, let's give him a hand.
This year, we are recognizing individuals and teams for projects and accomplishments that represent the very best of Baltimore District. There is no better measure of our value to the nation than recognizing employees who volunteered to serve communities far from home. From neighborhoods and towns hit by flooding, suffering from historic fires, or enduring tropical storms, these communities are suffering the worst moment of their lives, and they are turning to us to help them recover in whatever way we can. At this time, I'd like to invite the nearly 80 employees who volunteered to deploy to these disaster areas beginning in spring 2018 to please join us on stage for recognition by your peers. I'd also like to invite each of our volunteers to join us after the ceremony at one of the two tables in the back of the room to receive their certificate and a gift from the district. Several of them will also be receiving humanitarian awards from our headquarters. Hey, sir, while they're coming on stage, do you want to say a few words and show off the new gift?
Yeah, let's give him a hand. Yeah. Hey, look. This team, I'll talk while they're doing pictures. You know, they volunteer their time, taken out of their day job to deploy for, several of them numerous times over, anywhere from 30 days to, several weeks and maybe even months. And they do so voluntarily, and they do so with the support from their supervisory chain as well. And we could not fulfill our Corps of Engineers, our nationally mandated emergency management missions and our OCO deployment commitments without volunteers. And so I want you to look at this group up here. There are more folks that deploy that are not here today. But this could be anyone out here in the crowd too. We're looking for volunteers. We're gonna talk a little bit later about what those opportunities are. But I think it's very, very important to recognize our team that volunteered. We have a few things, just some artifacts to give them, just to remind them of their deployment, and so others can see and keep it in the forefront of their mind. We have a special mug, coffee mug made. It's back there in the room. And some other things as a very small token of our appreciation. And so hopefully folks around the district have a whole collection of these things after a few years. And so we definitely appreciate your commitment, so thank you. All right. Good. Okay. All right.
By the way, Penny.
Yeah, thanks.
Penny's employed too, and she didn't stand up. Just saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. 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 Well done. Thanks.
We will now move into the individual award categories. Our first award of the day will be the presentation of the E. Manning Seltzer Award. This award is presented by the USACE Chief Counsel in recognition of Corps of Engineer attorneys who have made one or more special contributions to the Corps' legal services mission. One of this year's honorable recipients is our own Jennifer McGrath. Ms. McGrath demonstrated exceptional leadership, executive ability, foresight, judgment, and tact in serving as the primary legal advisor to the Real Estate Services Field Office. Ms. McGrath's advice and guidance has been essential to projects involving crucial national security matters. Her significant contributions and advice regarding leasing, land acquisition, and fiscal law matters are invaluable to the successful execution of the Office of Counsel, District, and USACE mission. Congratulations, Jennifer. Baltimore District is proud to have the North Atlantic Division nominee for the 2018 Civil Responder of the Year Award. Representing the division is our own Robbie Powers. For both hurricanes Lane and Florence, Mr. Powers selflessly deployed within hours of notification to provide technical expertise while guiding less experienced debris team members. With Hurricane Michael, his leadership and management efforts helped set the remainder of the mission up for success. Mr. Powers' efforts, including streamlining mission reporting procedures, forecasting manning needs, training team members on the ground and in real time, and working through various other challenges. Congratulations, Robbie. Our next award is the Planner Excellence Award. This year's winner is Angie Sowers. Unfortunately, she's in a detail in Philadelphia, our other friendly district, but I'll go ahead and read the citation. Mr. Sowers achieved a variety of key accomplishments on highly visible and important projects, but perhaps her greatest accomplishment was leading the team in the formulation of the Chesapeake Bay Comprehensive Plan Watershed Assessment. This massive undertaking with 6 states, the District of Columbia, and numerous agencies was completed to the congressionally mandated 2-year time frame and provides a strategic roadmap for future USACE investments in ecosystem restoration. So that's for Angie. Next, our Planner Excellence Programmatic Planner of the Year Award is presented to Tony Clark. Mr. Clark is the program manager for the district's Continuing Authorities program. This year, Mr. Clark successfully oversaw numerous Baltimore District projects, including the completion of the $9 million Rhodes Point Jetty construction project and the commencement of the Ocean City Inlet and Back Bay's Section 204 study. Congratulations, Tony. Now for the Construction Division Hard Hat of the Year Award. Please welcome this year's recipient, Chris Culver, to the stage. Since 2016, Mr. Culver has coordinated and led the largest project in the Capital Area Office, the Army Intelligence Security Command Headquarters and Conference Facility Construction Project. Mr. Culver expertly and professionally faced the challenges of this unique $150 million state-of-the-art facility project. He has meritoriously functioned as the sole project engineer, coordinating, reviewing, and responding to thousands of requests for information and negotiating over 150 user-requested and mandatory changes. Congratulations, Chris. This year's Installation Support Professional of the Year is Mike Hurley. Mike serves as the project manager at Joint Base Meyer McNair and provides exceptional service to the installation and tenant activities. Michael provided critical leadership for several high visibility programs and projects addressing environmental hazards in buildings, positively impacting hundreds of service members. He maintained a high workload and intense level of communication and coordination with the Department of Public Works, garrison leadership, and senior tenant leaders. Congratulations, Mike. This year's Project Manager of the Year is Kevin Schock. Mr. Schock serves as the project manager for the East Campus Integrated Program Office. He provided critical leadership for several high-profile projects this year, including the $762 million East Campus Building 2 and the $42 million East Campus Parking Structure 1. Mr. Schock has continually proven himself to be an effective and high-achieving project manager who epitomizes outstanding project management within the Baltimore District. Congratulations. This year, we're honored to have 2 Program Managers of the Year. Our first one is Tony Clark. Come on back. Not only does Tony serve as the sole district contact for the North Atlantic Division and headquarters regarding continuing authorities program, but he's also the branch representative for the Section 510 program. Under his excellent leadership and commitment to creative solutions, the Baltimore District has seen tremendous success in rebuilding and executing the continuing authorities program. Congratulations, Tony. Our other Program Manager of the Year is Miss Mimi Vuato. Ms. Vuato is the Program Manager for the East Campus program, which is a $4 billion program that includes the planning, design, and construction of what is currently the largest military construction program in all of USACE. Ms. Vuato's excellent leadership, dedication, and unwavering work ethic within the East Campus program has allowed the district to successfully carry out numerous complex, multi-million-dollar projects, all in support of the national intelligence community. Congratulations. Many of the support office staff are unsung heroes, working diligently behind the scenes or at the podium to help the district execute our wide array of missions. Today, we recognize one of those unsung heroes, Miss LaToya Wilson. From talking to employees, working with management, council, and human resources, to setting up special emphasis programs and scheduling training with the North Atlantic Division, which is no easy challenge, LaToya does all of it and does it with a smile on her face. She's a very proactive member of the EEO office. She has sought out training to fill gaps and consistently seeks additional responsibilities. Congratulations, LaToya. Next is our recognition of the great teams and collaborative work that Baltimore District is known for across the region and around the world. So here we go with the team awards. This is going to be, I'm telling you, man. Our first team we would like to acknowledge is the Planning Excellence Team of the Year. With the Anacostia Watershed Prince George's County team, please join me on stage. This ecosystem restoration study was a follow-on effort to the highly acclaimed Anacostia Watershed Restoration Plan. The study was the first in the district to be conducted under the Smart Planning 3x3x3 process. The team had to use expert communication and facilitation skills with the sponsor and formulate and reformulate in order to provide the necessary justification to develop a plan that would be acceptable to policy and technical reviewers. This project is now an urban restoration model for the nation. Congratulations, team. Our next team to acknowledge is the Programmatic Planning Team of the Year. With the team from the Planning Assistance to States for Chesapeake Bay Stormwater Management, please join us on stage. This team has demonstrated commitment to our stakeholders and to the goals of restoring the Chesapeake Bay through effectively developing several partnerships to deliver innovative and timely stormwater management tools and recommendations. With 13 partnerships, the team executed one of the largest PAS programs in the nation of over $2 million in FY18. Congratulations, team. Next, we will present awards to the Baltimore District Teams of the Year. This year, teams were selected from 6 different categories: construction, design, environment, process, study, and special programs. We will recognize our honorary team members in each category first before announcing the winning team in that category. Receiving the honorary mention in the construction category is the East Campus Building Marine Cyber. If any members of the team are with us today, please stand and be acknowledged. This state-of-the-art silver lead facility, which was designed and constructed to fight cyber terrorism, is the first in the nation specifically dedicated to the U.S. Marine Corps Cyber Operations Mission. Fighting technical and contracting challenges, this project was delivered on time and within budget. This new facility allowed the Marines to relocate from temporary lease space to the 242-acre East Campus Intelligence Complex on Fort Meade. Congratulations, team. This year's Construction Team of the Year is the Integrated Cyber Center team. They represent one of 2 teams who have advanced to NAD for consideration as the USACE PDT of the Year. Please welcome the team members on stage. The team successfully completed the complex effort of completing 2 large building projects for 2 different intelligence customers and integrating the two seamlessly together, including a joint command center, secure communications, and access control. The completion of these efforts now provides nearly 400,000 square feet of seamlessly integrated state-of-the-art workspace for our nation's intelligence professionals and cyber warriors. Congratulations, team. This year's team award for design goes to the Fort Myer Security Upgrades team. Please come onto the stage. This team successfully designed security upgrades for the shared boundary between Fort Myer, an active installation with high-profile tenants, and Arlington National Cemetery, with its more than 3 million visitors a year. The team had to take into account the historic and highly visible nature of the site, which included the Old Post Chapel Gate that is involved with military funerals, as well as a great deal of associated parking, in order to successfully complete their designs. Congratulations, team. Our honorary mention for this year's process team goes to the Baltimore Harbor Camp Henry team. If any members of this team are with us today, please stand to be recognized. The team expertly managed a $15.4 million contract to ensure the safe navigation of this heavily trafficked channel. This is the first year Baltimore District has handled this contract. In previous years, it had been Norfolk District. The team had to work closely with EPA for sediment testing and open water placement of the dredge material in the ocean, as well as other resource agencies, so as not to disturb marine life. The team accomplished this mission through effective communication processes, best practices, and automated information systems. So congratulations to that team. Our Process Team of the Year award goes to the East Campus Building 3 team. When one of Baltimore District's largest customers strongly petitioned the Corps for an expedited award of the $665 million design-build contract for East Campus Building 3, the project delivery team rose to the challenge and distinguished itself by acquiring the contract in less than 18 months. The contract was not only awarded on the date committed to the customer, it was awarded under the established construction cost limitation. Congratulations, team. In the study category, this year's honorary recipient for the Study Team Award is the U.S. Naval Academy Stormwater Management and Flood Modeling Team. If we have any members of that team here in attendance, please stand and be recognized. This team conducted a survey of the Navy's existing 1,200 stormwater structures and prepared a stormwater and flood model for the lower yard watershed, an area of the Academy that is highly susceptible to flooding. An extremely comprehensive GIS database was created that aided the complex modeling effort. This tool will help the Navy identify and implement maintenance requirements for their aging system, as well as make future resiliency decisions. So congratulations to that team. Our study team of the year for this year goes to the Chesapeake Bay Comprehensive Plan team. This team conducted a watershed assessment of the Chesapeake Bay. Using geographic information system technology, the team was able to incorporate and synthesize tremendous amounts of data, including land use data of the entire 64,000 square mile Chesapeake Bay watershed to a 1-meter resolution. This was used to break out sub-watersheds and evaluate them for opportunities to contribute to Chesapeake Bay program goals, such as stream restoration, fish passage, and wetland restoration. The completed report includes detailed analysis and recommendations of each of the Bay's 6 states and the District of Columbia. Congratulations, team. This year's honorary recipient of the Environmental Team of the Year is the Adelphi Laboratory Center Environmental Surveys team. If any of those folks are here, please stand and be recognized. This team conducted reptile, amphibian, and avian surveys in diverse terrain and weather for our military partners at Adelphi Lab, as well as Blossom Point Research Facility in support of their environmental missions. Data collected supplied our partners with tangible species counts, locations, and recommendations to manage their resources. Through the reptile surveys, the team also supported a larger research study on snake fungal disease. So congratulations to that team. This year's Environmental Team of the Year is also our other team that's going to NAD for consideration to be the USACE PDT of the Year. Please welcome Team Sturgis to the stage. This team completed a truly one-of-a-kind project with the decommissioning and dismantling of the Sturgis floating nuclear power plant and its deactivated MH-1A reactor. The team handled a variety of complex issues associated with this unique radiological project and did so in a safe manner with all components of the deactivated nuclear reactor and waste formerly aboard the Sturgis safely removed and transported without incident. Congratulations. This year's honorary recipient of the Special Programs Team of the Year is the Joint Base Andrews Wetland Mitigation Team. If any of you folks are here in attendance, please stand to be recognized. The team unveiled the first mitigation banking instrument for the DoD in the state of Maryland on Joint Base Andrews. The team assisted JBA in identifying and investigating potential areas to perform wetland mitigation. The first site to be restored under the UMBI is Mattawoman Creek in Charles County. The team managed the efforts of Greenvest and Princeton Hydro to complete the design, engineering, and modeling, and permitting of the Mattawoman site. This was a true public-private partnership success. Congratulations, team. Our Special Programs Team of the Year is the Planning Assistance to States Chesapeake Bay Stormwater Team. Through their efforts, the team worked to address the significant need for stormwater management solutions throughout the Chesapeake Bay, particularly with respect to Chesapeake Bay goals, total maximum daily load, and municipal separate storm sewer system permit requirements. The team partnered with stakeholders throughout Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia to provide technical assistance and comprehensive water resources planning. Congratulations, team. We are now about to move into the town hall portion of our program. Again, for the employees listening in the video stream, if you have any questions, please send them to the CNAB-CC email box. And at this time, my voice is about to give out, so I'm now proud to introduce Baltimore District's 68th Commander and District Engineer, Colonel John Litz.
Well, hang in there, Chris, and go recover, because you might not be done. Okay. We have the video teed up? Okay, so you might remember my first town hall last year. When was it? I can't remember. In the fall last year. We had a portion of the program where we had employees stand up to inform the larger group what they did, because you know, as I go around the district, I find that you know, somebody in one division really doesn't know what someone in another division does if they don't work with them all the time. And I think it's good if you understand the breadth of the missions that this district undertakes and what opportunities are out there for us. So to save some time and to get more people to talk, we made a video this time instead of passing the mic around, you know, under pressure of public speaking and in a forum like this. So the CCO put together this compilation video of you know, several of our employees, and the intent of this is just to share information and enhance the feeling of a team, and also just to have some fun. So, what's that? And VI, CCO, and visual information. So, thanks, Chris. You'll be talking again real soon. So, recovered. Okay, let's roll the video.
I oversee the construction and commissioning of the mechanical and electrical systems here on the East Campus.
So we prepare operating budget for the district, which is overhead budget. It has to be predictable, and we monitor execution.
We use strategic messaging partnerships across multiple communication platforms to tell important stories about what the Corps of Engineers does in and around your communities and around the military and throughout the world.
I perform water treatment. I remove all of the harmful bacteria out of the water for consumption, for hydration, and for firefighting.
I do all the military training and coordination of the development of the officers and enlisted soldiers that we have, as well as a lot of our hiring actions, a lot of the support staff work that we do.
My primary responsibility is to execute the Commander's Occupational Safety and Health Management System to minimize risk and protect our personnel and property from accidental loss.
I help the Corps and our partners comply with historic preservation laws.
The goal of the EEO office is to promote a diverse and inclusive workplace, providing equal opportunity for all.
Responsible for the Department of Defense National Relocation Program called DNRP. Our mission is the recruitment, retention, and relocation of DoD civilians.
And team is responsible to deliver state-of-the-art mission-critical building to our customer.
I manage the survey crews that take care of all of the survey equipment and all the channels for the Baltimore Harbor.
What is your job?
What do you do?
I take all of the harmful bacteria and solids out of the water so that it's safe to drink.
I work with the contractors when they're building the buildings to make sure all the electricity and water systems are installed properly.
I hire people, I train people, sometimes I fire people, and I answer a lot of emails.
What is your job?
I get to dig in the dirt and look for things from the past.
I help your parents and people like your parents go to work safely, so that they can come home to their families and to their children each night.
What is your job, Dad?
We get low chunks of money from our customer for services that we provide. And then we use that money to pay for our bills.
What is your job?
When your mom and dad get a new job in a new city and they have to sell their house, we help out by coming and we buy the house for them and make it easier for you to move.
What is your job, Dad?
We work with project managers and experts in the engineering field to tell really exciting stories about the cool stuff that the Corps of Engineers does here at home and around the world.
Okay, I think that's it. Let's give everybody a hand. So we'll continue this trend And just remember, if you're out there and this wasn't you this time, it could be you next time. So prepare. So I think, what's the next slide? Volunteer opportunities. So you may have noticed the literature on the table as you came in today. And you noticed a whole bunch of people up here getting recognized for deployments. And I just wanted to take a moment of this town hall and explain what our deployment opportunities are, what our volunteer opportunities are. We have a standing debris planning and response team obligation to headquarters USACE. This is for our national enterprise. Baltimore District is responsible for providing 18 personnel that are trained and ready to go to assist communities and whenever a natural disaster or whatever takes place and debris removal is needed to help recover. So we've been using the heck out of these folks since I've been in command. A lot of folks have been deployed numerous times. I think we still have one person may be deployed for Hurricane Michael. So, and that was months ago. So a very important mission. And you get a lot of good experience when you go on these missions. You meet a lot of people, and you know it's a break from the norm. But best of all, you're really helping in a time of need. And so I can't say enough. I've personally served on debris removal PRTs in previous assignments, and very rewarding. We have the DTOS. You see what the acronym stands for. These are mobile command centers. These are also national assets. And we take care of 3 of them, and they're at Indian Rock. And we have 2 different sizes. These things are basically, you can see there, the sides pop out, satellite dishes, computers on board. We need people that can get their CDL license and drive these things to wherever they're needed, set them up, do monthly preventive maintenance services checks on them to make sure they're in good working order. And we're looking for, we're taking applications right now, so think about it. Next. Crisis Action Team. These are the folks that augment, mainly in 2HP, our emergency management operations. So if we have to do 24-hour operations, it quickly overwhelms the Dory Murphy's staff, and we need folks from the district to augment the staff. So another opportunity here in the district, and I don't think that you'll end up deploying outside the district if you're on this team. Next. The Forward Engineering Support Team, Advanced. So that is the commander of the 71st Fest A, Major Andrew Petrie. Stand up, Andrew. Leads a team of various engineers to contingency operations, and right now they are conducting a year-long pilot program for the Corps of Engineers, where in the past they've deployed for longer periods of time, 6 months, maybe up to a year at times. They were deploying in bursts, 3 and 4 week, smaller deployments, but more frequently throughout the year. And Andrew, I'll give you the mic, and you can give your commercial. Take 30 seconds.
Thank you, sir. We're a small team of 8 that deploys around the world, supporting different missions, base camp planning, disaster relief. So far, the team, we've gone to Florida twice, support Hurricane Michael. We went to Alaska when they had the earthquake there near Anchorage back in October. We're about to go to Africa, to Senegal, come in July to do some base camp planning with a week in Vicenza, Italy afterwards to do the products for it. Possibly the Philippines after that, but it's a unique opportunity. So if this interests you, please come talk to me, and I love to talk to you about our program. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. So before I pass the mic to Dory for a quick commercial, grab some literature, grab all 4 of the opportunities out there. When you leave today, it takes, if you want to be a part of it, it takes you to sign an SOU, a statement of understanding. Your supervisor hacks off on it, and then we'll get you trained and signed up. My intent is to build the bench on that debris PRT 3 deep. That way we don't exhaust, the same PRT over and over and over. That's a very high demand. There aren't very many of them in USACE. I think there's 7 or 8 in USACE, and the demand is high. So I'm trying to get more people, 3 times as many people as we have now on that debris PRT. So, you can walk out of here today with an SOU. If your supervisor's standing by, we can get you all signed up before you even leave here. So Dory, over to you.
So I would say the emergency management office here is small, and when we're joined by the volunteer teams on our planning response team, we become mighty, and we really need you. If saving a life is the most honorable thing you could do, I'd say the most second honorable thing you could do is to go help people who have been impacted by disaster. They've lost their homes, some have lost family members, and their community has been destroyed, and these teams support putting it all back together. So please, come see one of the emergency management staff, send an email to the EOC, cnab-eoc@usace.army.mil. We're going to be out in the lobby right after the town hall.
Thank you, Dory. There's also another table set up with members from NAD and the Transatlantic Division that are providing information on our contingency operation deployments. That's our support to Afghanistan Engineer District and so on. So we still have 6, I believe, 6 team members deployed on OCO deployments right now. I think Sarah Dorfler just returned. I think she's on leave and she's going back for another several months. She's out of the RSFO. So since I've been in command, we've had 6 or 7 people continuously deployed to OCO. So that is a need for the nation as well. And you can get information right outside these doors after the town hall. And also, probably not on many people's radar is the current flooding in the Midwest, particularly in Omaha District's area of operations. You may be, you can't miss it if you've had the news on lately. The Missouri River has breached levee system, I think 50 breaches along a 138-mile stretch, and they are hurting. They need geotechnical engineers, bad. They need about 60 of them, and they need CAD techs as well. So don't know how long that mission's going to last, but there is a heck of a lot of infrastructure. They need to build bid packages. They need to do assessments first to figure out how bad it is and what they can do about it. So if those things interest you, the Omaha District Commander would greatly appreciate your support. So see Dory or see me after this if you're interested in helping out Omaha District. No formal taskings have been handed down to the district on that yet. I'm just telling you because I spoke with the commander yesterday. Okay, next. FEVS. We're going to do another FEVS survey this year. It'll be 100%. I would love to get every single person in the district to fill out a federal employee viewpoint survey. If you're new to the district or if you're new to federal service, this is what DOD has come up with to provide feedback at a department level to really help the organizations under the DOD understand where they stand with their employees and where the different agencies within DOD compare to each other. It's very useful information. It's sort of like a command climate survey. Many of you have taken several of these before, but it provides useful feedback to the command on areas we need to improve and what we're doing well. And there's a ranking, the best places to work ranking. And USACE is doing pretty well in that on that list right now. But some things that concern me are survey fatigue. I know to some of you it seems like every time you turn around you're getting asked to fill out a survey, command climate survey, which we're going to do again this year, and then the FEV survey. But I certainly look at this, the corporate board looks at it. It's discussed at the regional level and the national level, And the next few slides are for me to share with you really how it's useful. 65% participation in the survey is the goal this year. I think we hit about that last year, but if there are 1,200 of us in the district, I would like to get 1,200 surveys filled out, except for the military. I think just a few of us military, we aren't included in that survey, but for all the civilians, probably not going to get everybody 100%, but I would like to get maximum participation on this. Let's go to the next slide. So feedback in general, it's FEVS, it's Command Climate Survey, it's face-to-face interactions between me and you and your chain of command and your chain of, your supervisory chain. They come to me with information. We have the anonymous suggestion box on our website that is working pretty well. So what do we do with all this feedback? Once a year at the corporate board offsite, we conduct a planning session with the corporate board where we review all of the above, all the things mentioned in the red there. Every single thing that's coming through the anonymous suggestion box, look at all the replies, and we try to understand where do we need to focus effort, leadership effort around the district. We also talk about it at every corporate board meeting, and it's really a topic of conversation daily or at least weekly in many other meetings that we have at the corporate board level. And some of the things that are shaken out of all this feedback are listed here. Just a few of them. We understand that onboarding is a process that needs to be improved in the district, and we had our LDP look at onboarding and make recommendations for implementation. There's an effort, a regional effort, to look at onboarding. So very soon, we're going to turn the district's onboarding process kind of on its head for the better. We're going to make some changes to that. So that's one thing that came out of the feedback. Innovators Corner. Many of you have heard about Innovators Corner, and we've got some slides to talk about that, but that is a channel of communication between district leadership and employees, no matter where you are, what your station in the district is as an employee. If you have a good idea or a suggestion, whether it's a process improvement or identifying legislation that needs to be changed in order to better deliver your program, this is a channel for you to convey that thought and get visibility, leadership visibility in the district, and recognition for your efforts. And we'll talk about that in a few slides. Supervisory community of practice, weekly deputy level human resources meetings. We know we're short on people, and there's a lot of stress and burden put on the workforce because we're trying to execute an enormous program, and it seems like it gets bigger every year with fewer people. From 2015 until about now, we've been trending down with our end strength. And I'm happy to say that after listening to feedback and putting some measures in place and trying a few things, I think we've figured out the right pressure point in the district, the right level to get visibility and traction on hiring actions. And that is with this deputies level meeting that we have once a week. And I would just like to thank all the division deputies that come to this meeting, armed with your information and tracking hiring actions and all the things that Lieutenant Colonel Kuhlman makes you do and that you comply with. I think we brought on board 30 additional people over the last month or so. We have a net gain. There's a spike now. And just this morning, I got an email from NAD's HR chief, and we have our direct hire authorities unleashed now. So you'll be getting some implementation guidance on that very quickly. And we're going to get our hiring machine clicking on all cylinders very soon. Chara is a part of this. Chara has been very helpful over the last, particularly over the last several months in help working directly with management. If you're a member of our CPAC, thank you. We've made some big gains and improvements over the last several months. So I'm going to pass the mic for about 30 seconds over to Lieutenant Colonel Kuhlman for an update on where we are with our hiring actions and our end strength. Jeff?
Sure. So like Colonel had said, a lot of the feedback was it takes a long time to hire someone. And so we really kind of went through the whole process and sort of found where our sticking points were. And so working with Chara and all the deputies, we are starting to turn the corner. We're not quite there yet. I think this direct hire authority is going to help us out and streamline the process a little bit more. But it is weekly. We take a look at this every week. And so in the past 3 months, we've brought on board about 50 people to the district. And that's about 20 over what our attrition rate was at the same time. So we do have a net gain. I think we're back up to about FY16 level strength now, and we're continuing to go up.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, we probably need to hire, we probably need to bring on, maybe 100 people across the district, but, that, we'll be setting our goals, readjusting how we look at our end strength very soon. So it's probably around 100 people we need to bring on net. So you subtract attrition, we need to probably be, have far more than that many hiring actions in the pipeline. So the point is your feedback has been heard, has been listened to by leadership, and I think we have a system in place that's going to get us where we need to be to execute our workload in the short term and in the long term. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Hey, so some of you may have received an email from me and read the attachment. That's this graphic right here. This is the result. This is a graphic way to represent the actions that are taking place to get after the issues that were surfaced in the Command Climate Survey from 2018, the FEBS from 2018, and the other feedback channels that I mentioned earlier. And do we have the graphic? Can we blow these things up? So at the corporate board offsite, the mission and vision, we've adopted the mission and vision of USACE. We used to have a different mission and vision in the district, and now we've just adopted what USACE has, because it doesn't make sense to do something different. We have every single mission area besides research and development and a few other things that USACE has. So if it's a USACE mission and vision, then it makes sense for us to have it too. It just makes it easy to remember. And then over here is our future state. I know you probably can't read it back there, but spend some time looking at this graphic when you get back to your cubes. It just talks about what we think we need to look like in the future, and it speaks to being agile and adaptable, sustainable and affordable, being able to deliver on our commitments for our stakeholders, retaining our technical expertise, and being fully staffed and having the best workforce we can possibly have. Let's go to the next. Okay, so there, in tradition of every other organization on the planet, usually we can break, initiatives down to 3 things, right? 3 things are easy to remember. So, strengthening is a good word to describe an area where we need to improve. Foundational tasks. My assessment and the assessment of many of you out there through your feedback are that the systems that have underpinned success in the district over the years need some attention. Our policies, our SOPs, and just the way we do business. Things have changed around us. Our workload's changed, the environment's changed, and we need to catch our housekeeping up, our basic systems in the district. We need to codify them, make them to where people can see them and understand them, and get back to basic blocking and tackling with our jobs. We need to fix onboarding. It's not going to do us any good to bring on a bunch of new employees if we don't have good ways to onboard, effective ways to onboard that are reasonable to maintain for supervisors and employees. It doesn't do us any good to make some elaborate system that's impossible to implement. So we have some efforts, as I mentioned earlier, on getting after onboarding. Human capital plan. That's something that our Chief of Staff, Sarah Robert, has lead on, but a lot of people are going to have to contribute to that. It's actually going to be a human capital strategy in FY20, and if you're a supervisor, this is going to be a document, or an employee, but particularly for supervisors, a document that you can reference that lists the ways and means that you have to address human capital, and there will be guidance from me on the various areas of the human capital plan. We have a slide on it, so I'm not going to get into it here. And then recognizing and rewarding performance. There was a PDT convened recently, led by Pat Finley, and to basically overhaul the way that we recognize and reward employees across the district. So that's going to manifest itself in a document that will be published in the near future. And just basically from soup to nuts. It's how, from our national level recognition and awards all the way down to performance bonuses. How do we do that in the district? Let's go to the next thing. Deliver. This gets at why we're here. It's why we all have a job. We're here to deliver our programs, deliver services, construct things, deliver plans, and so on, real estate transactions, issue permits, and on and on. It's what we do. And there are some things that we needed to get after, and they're listed there. Work acceptance process. We overhauled that this year, and Dave Morrow might talk to us about that here very shortly. Synchronizing installation support. We realize we're doing so many things for our installation stakeholders, but in stovepipes. So planning divisions leading an effort to make recommendations to the corporate board on how to tie all that together to add value, do a better job of adding value to our customers, our stakeholders. And then our stakeholder outreach efforts. This is something that we're working on at the corporate board level too, but how do we maintain contact with our stakeholders and so we can maintain the relationships we have, our working relationships, and so that we can understand where our stakeholders are headed with their future requirements so that we can plan for it. Otherwise, we're just reacting, and it results in stress for the workforce. Why do we want to find out at the last minute that our stakeholders need something, and it puts us under pressure and takes our options off the table for how to execute it? So let's go to the next one. And in innovating, so there are a lot of good ideas that I've heard since I've been in the district, and it occurred to me that you could tell me about it, but I don't have the bandwidth to do everything. And what happens to a good idea if there's no channel to really put it into, to get visibility and action on it? Whether you're at one of our lake dams or whether you're in 2HP, the good ideas are out there. So we have now developed a process, a channel, if you will, to take your idea, put it in front of a peer group in a very easy process, and have it go through a tiered system for quick recognition, and we're going to triage it and potentially implement it. So this system, it's called this process called Innovators Corner, was implemented in March, and so far I like what I'm seeing, and I think that that's going to be good for the workforce. And you can see some other things up there, knowledge management and emerging business opportunities. And I'll let Dave Morrow talk about our workload, our business outlook here in a second. But things are looking pretty good for us. Next slide. So Innovators Corner. You know, this little video that's going to keep scrolling behind me here. You know, it's on our website. You can check it out. If you have a good idea on the first of the month, you can submit your idea. Again, it's anything from a process improvement, maybe it's, you know, a logistical thing, or maybe it's a legislation or a process or an engineering regulation or whatever it is that's keeping you from, that's outdated perhaps, and keeping you from doing your job as efficiently as you can. We have, there's a coin that Tyler White from Planning Division designed, and we took an allocation out of the commander's coins. I think we minted, the initial run was 75 or so of these special coins, and if your idea gets implemented, then you get one of these coins and some other recognition. And I'm going to pass the mic to Amy Geis, who provided the leadership to the PDT, made up of district employees that came up with this system, for her to talk about it. So Amy, why don't you take a couple minutes and talk about Innovators Corner.
Thanks. So this is super fun, right? Who doesn't want to be part of something that's called Innovators Corner? So this is interactive. I'm going to ask a question, and for those on the phone, you can participate too. But has anyone been frustrated with a process they had to follow? Have you been frustrated because you didn't know there was a process? Have you been frustrated because there wasn't a process, or at the time it takes to get something done, right? So you can raise your hands. I see heads nodding. This is what Innovators Corner is about. And if you've heard about Revolutionize the Core, this is how we can revolutionize Baltimore District. This is our version of that. So this is an easy button on the intranet. You hit the button. It's, I think, 5 pieces of information that you submit to us about your idea. This is solution focused, right? So it's not just, this didn't go well, fix it. It's no, what is your suggestion? And you can do it with teams of people, right? You don't just have to do it yourself. If a group of you come up with a solution, put that in there. Those ideas get pulled the first of the month, and then it goes to a peer review group, your peers. It doesn't come to me first. It doesn't go to corporate board. It doesn't get screened out. It goes to a group of your peers. They look at that and they say, hey, you know, this has merit. Let's implement that right away. So this is meant to be fast. It doesn't get clogged up by someone saying we can't do that. If it needs developed a little further because it's really going to have a larger impact, then it would be coached maybe by a corporate board member, or what then gets really fun is you can come before corporate board in this Shark Tank style, if you know the TV show Shark Tank, and you can pitch something really big. And we have one of those coming in June. These will be streamed, so if you're in the district or not in the district, you can watch this. But it's meant to be fun, right? And so this is kind of giving you the car keys. You get to tell us what those solutions are, and it's meant to be implemented. You will be recognized through coins. We have certificates. We have cash. We have dollars, EAA, Employee Activity Association dollars, where you can purchase core merchandise, things that have the core logo on it. So that's for you. Your supervisor will also be recognized, and then this may go to NAD or headquarters, so you could have your idea really go nationwide and then be recognized for that as well. So we're super excited. I hope you go check out the button. Think of this as your opportunity, and I challenge you to put so many ideas in there that we have to think of how to deal with that. You know, that's going to be a good problem to have, because this is your opportunity to make this the organization that you want it to be.
Thanks, Amy. Innovators Corner, just having this channel open for you is important. I will tell you that General Semonite he will talk about, if he were here today, he would talk about revolutionizing USACE. And really in a nutshell, what he's talking about is we have to do things differently. Our procedures, the way we approach our work across the enterprise has to change in order to execute the workload that is facing the Corps of Engineers right now. And the way he sees to do that is, step one, figure out all the parasitic drag, all the things that are in, that are holding us back and getting in the way of executing, and the things that aren't good for executing our jobs, and elevating those. But if you don't have a way to do that, the only people that'll ever elevate those things are, maybe the district commander, the DPM, maybe the division commander and their staff, because we're the people that interact with headquarters. So, it makes sense that we would have a standing pipeline set up in the district to capture these good ideas and foster that, and really set up a culture where your ideas are valued and you get rewarded for it. And we want more of that. So think small or think big. If it's big, something way outside of USACE's ability to control, that's all right too, because the time is right for the headquarters USACE to start, to champion some of these things. They're going back to DOD to help shape policy. That's why we have direct hire authority, because it was an above-the-line request to the Corps of Engineers Human Resources team, and they have a new SES there named Karen Payne, who went to OPM and to DOD and convinced that USACE needs to have direct hire authority, because they need to bring on a lot of people to do all the things the nation's asking them to do, and we have it now. Just an example. Let's go back maybe 3 slides to building our future. I just want to say one thing for a few seconds. This may change every year. Every year that I'm in command, I intend to do something like this to show you what we're doing with the feedback that we're getting through FEBS, Command Climate Survey, and other methods. So I would like for this to be collaborative this year. So we'll figure out how to do that. Maybe we solicit feedback on the product before we just mint it and roll it out, and to make sure that it's resonating. But every year I intend to publish something that we can all look at that reminds us of what the feedback is that we got from all the channels, and then what are we doing about it, so we can assign tasks to people and hold ourselves accountable. Okay, let's go on past Innovators Corner. Okay, this is important. From feedback channels and just from being aware of our surroundings, we've had some security issues on the transit system with employees commuting, and also around 2HP. Not a whole lot reported, but we've had enough issues to where it's a concern. And you've seen this flyer around. You've seen them in all the break rooms. You've probably seen them taped in the elevator, and you probably know about it from before. But the Downtown Partnership is a way where you can get some help getting to wherever you're going in the evening before you get on the transportation system, or before you get to your car in a parking garage. If you're working late, these folks will escort you. They'll come to 2HP if you call them, give them a few minutes. They'll walk over, they'll identify themselves, and they'll help you get to where you're going within their area of operations, which is on that little map that you can see on the literature. So I suggest that you use them. I've called them just to find out how the system works, and they are responsive. Let's go to, back one. So after we've had the employee, a few incidents with our employees, we collaborated with Inspector Sheets, Baltimore City Police, MTA Police as well, and just so we could get a sense. When I say we, the executive office, me and Dave and Morrow and Lieutenant Colonel Kuhlman, just to find out what is going on. Are we seeing an increase in crime? Is there a threat that has changed that we need to know about? Does the police for the transit authority understand that we're having issues? Does the Baltimore police know that we're experiencing some issues in and around our building? So we met with him and got some information from both organizations, from MTA and City Police. We know that both agencies are trying to increase presence. MTA on the transportation system, Baltimore Police in and around the area. Resources are constrained, of course, and no hard commitments made, but they did make a recommendation. That is to put, we have cameras focused inside the building, but we don't have any cameras focused outside the building. So we're getting cameras, we're putting them outside the building, and these will be networked to the other federal buildings around the area to cover entire corridors that you might be taking to get to your transportation as you commute. So, I think there's a good chance these cameras will be networked and will be able to be monitored real time to where we can actually work with an agency to focus on certain routes at certain times. But we can't do any of that until we get the hardware up and installed, so we're spending some money to get cameras installed and fix that issue. So that is one thing that spun off of that effort. Let's go to the next slide. Safety tips. You've seen some emails come out. Hopefully you read them. And we get a lot of email. Email's kind of a hit and miss nowadays, whether the message resonates. But particularly from Sarah Robert, sometimes from me, just reminding you to basically be vigilant, as you commute. When you leave the building, you're in a city. So trust your instincts. Get the headphones out of your ears. Put your phone away. Don't present yourself as somebody who's not aware of your surroundings, because you're making yourself vulnerable if you don't do that. And if folks approach you to try to engage you, maybe ask you for money, act like you know what's happening and you're switched on, and just keep walking. And that's that advice is the advice given to us by at least 3 different law enforcement agencies. So I thought it was worth putting up in the town hall. And none of this is going to, solve every problem, but if you think about it, this is some pretty good advice to the extent that we can help ourselves. Next slide. So, we're doing on time. Okay. We're doing okay. So I wanted to tell you what's going on just from my level, from my perch, what's going on in the Army, and then USACE, and then NAD, and then down here in the district, just to zoom in, just kind of one over the world. Okay. So the Army is focused on lethality and readiness. If our Chief of Staff of the Army was in here today, he would tell you his priorities are readiness and lethality. Investing Department of Defense budget that the Army gets on weapons systems and training for warfare, and trying to get our military built back up to win against near-peer competitors. It's not focusing on other things. It's not BRAC. It's, you know, it is getting our, you know, after 15 or so years of constant deployments to places like Afghanistan and Iraq, and in those conflicts, we've lost our ability to some extent to fight the kind of wars that we used to train for that are now a threat. So, and that has been the focus of the Army for, you know, several years, 2 or 3 years now. So that remains. At headquarters USACE, they're trying to figure out how to choke down a workload that is massive. So somewhere around $50 to $55 billion workload. It's probably, Dave, what would you say, doubled since the disaster supplemental, $17.8 billion or so disaster supplemental that came to us this year. Things like the border wall, you know, several billion dollars for that effort. Lots of uncertainty about that, but there are military construction projects and other parts of the budget that are being taken to fund that effort. And you've heard about it on the news. So, you know, USACE is, you know, General Simonite gets called by the president probably frequently. He was called to go to the White House while we were having the executive governance meeting a couple weeks ago. The Secretary of Defense calls him all the time, and it's always about border wall. You know, traveling down to border wall, you know, areas of interest and so on. So if you add up all the things, you know, the VA work that the Corps of Engineers is doing is an enormous workload. So General Simonite is trying to figure out, you know, which of his districts are supporting districts and which are supported districts, and, you know, which ones are directly impacted and which ones are going to have to assume workload from other districts, like planning workload and you know, non-border wall, you know, work that away, you know, so that certain districts can build the border wall and do the other things that USACE is being asked to do. So right now, the hiring pipeline's turned on, and we're open for business and trying to figure out how to take down a huge workload across the Corps. You know, in the district, I'm focused on a few things. Human capital has got to be the number one thing. You know, we have a lot of work coming down the pipeline, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Dave Morrow here in just a second to tell us, give you a flavor for what work we have coming down the pipe and what does our workload look like this year and next year and in the out years. But if we can't get people on board, we can't do it. So we have to fix this problem, and we've kind of turned the corner on it. We need to keep at it. We need to bring people on board. We need to train them and onboard them. We need to get better at recruiting. We need to do better at retaining people. And the host of things that you would find in all things human capital. So we need a purposeful human capital strategy that sets goals and gives guidance for personnel and our supervisors, and it gives us ways and the means, the things, it identifies those for things and connects them all up for how we're going to execute the strategy. So look for that in FY20. The other thing is the Washington Aqueduct. Tom Jacobus, who's sitting right up here, I'm going to give him about a minute here in a second, but there are a lot of things that Tom wants to do with the aqueduct. A lot of them can't, you know, we're way above the district's capability to support. A lot of, you know, there's a lot of, you know, several initiatives. So Tom and I have been talking since I've been in command about the things he would like to do and what opportunities exist. So he has put together a strategy. It is a fantastic document. I pitched it to the Chief of Engineers a couple weeks ago, and he gave the thumbs up to have headquarters USACE support this strategy. And now we need to just get after it. So Tom, why don't you tell us, take about a minute and tell the town hall what this strategy consists of.
Sure. Thank you very much. As Colonel Litz says, we're the enduring water utility for the nation's capital, serving D.C., Arlington, and Fairfax Water Service Area in Northern Virginia. Those three customers serve as our board. So my real boss is behind me over there somewhere, but at the same time, we serve a community led by officials. They want us to be more effective, they want us to be more reliable, and they want us to be more cost effective. And all of that we want to do too. And so this strategy looks at workforce development, it looks at improving our physical infrastructure, adopting plans for new treatment, and it looks for better support services. And through a combination of things we're going to do inside with the help of Baltimore District, some of you helping us, with the help of Corps headquarters, and then we're going to look beyond that, maybe even legislative changes to allow us to have permissions to do things that make us function better as a water utility. So it's exciting. We've called this effort Evolution 2030, so that over the next 10 years, we're poised to be a much better water utility, supporting in perpetuity to our customer base as they change and as we need to change with them. So I just want to say thank you for all the support that we've had so far, to our great employees who are hard at work every day, and then to the staff and to Colonel Litz for helping us get better.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you see our workload unfolding?
Thanks. So human capital strategy, we want to win the competition for talent and build the best organization possible. But really, I guess I'm here to address why. You know, I said at the beginning of the program, we had an incredibly successful and busy year. You know, when I look into the future, things look bright, workload looks strong, but I guess we really need to put a little more rigor into that. So we're a water resource agency, and anybody who pays any attention to the news, that workload is going up. We're an infrastructure organization, especially in our navigation programs. We're vital to the nation's economy. We're part of the Department of Defense. We're blessed to have the nation's capital in our area of responsibility. That workload keeps going up. And if we're going to engineer solutions for the nation's toughest challenges, we're really the federal engineer of choice. And again, being in the DC metro area, we've got lots of stakeholders knocking on our door asking for help. And we've got meetings going on actually right now back at the office with the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. We've got a big program developing with them. Other interagency support stakeholders are coming to us as well. So that's all easy to say, but we're actually going to put a little more rigor behind that and look program by program, stakeholder by stakeholder, and try to look 3 to 5 years forward to really define what follows with our human capital strategy. You know, Greg and I look at the numbers all the time, and we've been rock steady for the last 5 years. I used to think that's good, it makes planning easy. I'm now convinced it's because we're constrained by our throughput. The actual demand behind us is greater, and if we can increase the throughput that we have capability of in the district, I think our workload will go up and we'll do a better job achieving that vision. So thank you.
Okay. All right. I think with the remaining time left, I want to turn it over to you. Let's hit the next slide. Okay. Just leave this up as we talk. You can kind of read what we're thinking goes into a human capital strategy. This kind of scratches the surface on it, but this is a good idea of where we're heading with the human capital strategy, some of the things it'll address. I want to open it up to Q&A, and we'll see if there's somebody out here. How are we doing this? Are we taking the mic around to people? Yeah, okay, there's some mics out here. I think Becca is over here en route with the mic, and I can hand this one off. So who's got something on their mind that they want to say or ask? Come on, I'm going to start handing this mic to the corporate board here in a minute if we don't get some things. Okay, we got a couple of questions yesterday. The picnic, why is it in October? So that is a very good question. There's every intention to have it in June, as we normally do. It was actually planned in pretty good detail. We had a site selected. I mean, we were like heading down a path, and then the rug got pulled out from under the planning effort with the venue being rented out under us, and really struggling with finding a venue to host the district. When the venues are available, the options that are presented are available, it starts getting us into the end of the fiscal year. Most of us know what happens at the end of the fiscal year. Everybody, you know, with availability and the crunch to get the program delivered. So a mitigating solution is just have it in October. We'll celebrate the end of the fiscal year, and then next year we'll get back on target with the June, you know, the traditional June time frame that works out probably better for most people. So that's just how it is. So I made the decision, let's just have it in October. It's suboptimal, probably, but we'll see how it goes this year. And so hopefully that explains the rationale for why it's in October. So we got feedback from, plenty of feedback from the anonymous inbox on this one, but it's pretty good feedback. So good? Okay. And then DP map. One of the questions was, hey, why am I at 3 on DP map when I've been a 1 for a whole bunch of years on tapes? And that's a good question. And I guess the easiest way to answer it is DP map, there's no conversion factor from tapes to DP map ratings. It's a completely different system, and there's no way to take into account what you did in tapes and DP map. They're two different systems. You know, the DP map, according to DOD, is a way to recalibrate our rating systems to make them more meaningful, to foster more supervisor to employee interaction, and driving the face-to-face interaction through this web-based system of accountability. And there's plenty of problems with it. You know, there's no forced distribution system that says, you know, a supervisor can only give this many 5s and this many 3s. So there's a lot of fear that, you know, certain agencies or maybe districts or divisions within a district will just give everybody 5s, and then, oh, hold on, my division's given, you know, a lot of 3s out, and we're getting hosed. And what I can tell you is my year on the Army staff where we implemented this before I took command, it all kind of worked out. It was like 50%, you know, 3s and 5s, or no, it's more like 75% 3s, 25% 5s. The way it's looking right now across the district, across the divisions, keep in mind, you know, we're not done with the ratings. It looks like there are more 3s than 5s in every single division, every single branch across the divisions within this district. It looks like that's about what's happening across the districts in the region, as you know, reported to our regional leadership. So I think what's happening is supervisors and employees are, taking the system seriously and are trying to make it work. This is a transition year for it. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to have employees get 3s and think that there's something wrong. There's probably nothing wrong. A high-performing employee gets a 3. That's okay. What's important is the words, the feedback that supervisor is providing to that employee, and having that interaction, be increased and more effective. We'll see where this goes, but I don't think anybody should be have too much anxiety over this inaugural year of this brand new rating system. So overall, it looks like this district is exercising diligence with DPMAP, but I'd be willing to field any questions and answer to the best of my ability. So what have we got? Do we have a hand up back here? I thought there was a hand.
Okay, one thing that I've heard recently is the lanyard policy at 2HP. Okay, so in case you're confused, let me just put it out there. It is a requirement. We're a GSA level 3 building. It is required. It has been required since we've been in the building. We have been in non-compliance with it. The requirement is that you wear something that identifies who you are. If you have a CAT card, you put the CAT card on the lanyard. We have them in the security office. We have them over there at the EM booths to sort of get you to go over to the EM booth. Pick one up and carry it. Okay. If you're a guest and you don't have a CAT card, you get a sticker. You're supposed to get wanded through security as well. That sticker needs to remain on that person at all times. Okay, so it's not an option. It's not, I've been told I'm supposed to have my ID card available to present. You're supposed to wear it visibly. So if I see you walking around and you don't have it, I'm going to stop you and ask you who you are and why you don't have your CAT card. The second reason that's important, because where else would your CAT card be if it's not around your neck? In your laptop. Well, if you're walking around the building and you're not with your laptop, then you are now what's considered a major security violation for the Army, and 5 of those will get our internet cut off by the Army. I've seen this happen at Joint Base Lewis McChord. 5 soldiers who walked away from their computer resulted in the entire installation having its internet shut down for about 12 hours. So it is a big deal. It's a culture shift that we have to get used to. Okay, I know that some of our agencies are used to carrying badges and challenging people. At 2HP, we have to get into that habit, okay, because we sort of don't have any more flexway. Okay, you may have heard the first time General Semonite wrote out a red Seminote, it was about security, it was about CAT cards, and it was about cybersecurity. So it's a very important deal. So I would ask everyone, you're all deputized. If you see someone walking around the headquarters and they don't have their lanyard on, please ask them where it is. And if they're a visitor and they don't have a badge, please escort them back down to security so they can get properly screened into the building. Are there any questions on that? Okay.
Thanks, Jeff. Got one back here. Audrey. Hold on one second. Mike's in or out.
I was wondering if you could just give some background on the new mission statement. I'm a little confused on the statement that it says we're going to energize the economy and how we do that as a totally reimbursable, fiscally responsible premier engineering organization. The way I see it, that would be a result of our true mission, but not part of our mission.
Yeah, that's one of the things that in the Corps' Civil Works mission is charged with. We dredge our navigable waterways to allow for commerce, to make us more competitive with with other nations. It's a competitive advantage. Our economic power. It's an element of national power. When we do a study for a civil works project, a lot of times it has a benefit to cost ratio. We have to show how that project benefits the nation economically, and that's how it competes for against all the other projects that are out there. So, yeah, Audrey, this if you're a cost reimbursable organization like RSFO and you're taking clients, financial resources and converting them into to construction or services, you're probably not directly addressing that part of the mission statement. But if you're in civil works, you probably are in some cases. So is that a good answer? I'm looking at the corporate board. Did I get that right? Okay. All right. Thank you, though. Thanks. What else? Okay. Was that a hand back there? Yep. Okay. Very back.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Brent Graybill, EMDC. Two rumors. I just wonder if you could either prove that they're right or squash them. Heard telework might be audited soon. Our whole telework program that might be under an audit. See if it's making sense. If we need to make stricter rules on it. And then the other question I had, sir, just because I have your attention, is the rumor that in building the wall, I heard that on the news potentially that our agency matching TSP might be taken away. I just wonder if you had any insight on those two topics, sir.
Okay, on that second one, I don't know. I'm not. Maybe I didn't hear, but I don't have any inside baseball on border wall. I think that's what you're asking about, right? Okay. So whatever you're seeing on the news, that's what I see too. I'm getting nothing else on that. So if another agencies, maybe multiple agencies are going to end up working on the wall. Interior might take a part of it. I don't know. But right now, all I can tell you is General Semonite's being hauled into the White House and many high-level conversations about the wall. I think that's, as the nation's engineer, I think we're getting the mission. And then on telework, I asked the corporate board to take a look at the telework policy and see if it makes sense, the district telework policy, to see if there are things in it that need to change. So I think we're doing that. I don't see big changes coming to telework. I don't know about an audit. Does anybody in the corporate board know about an audit? Maybe you heard that we're just relooking at the telework policy. I'll tell you, I think that, it's 2019. It's hard to find an agency out there that doesn't do telework to some extent. Private sector teleworks all the time. So I think if it can be done and you're not jeopardizing security, information security, and unless your job is, if your job is to actually be somewhere and do something, maybe that's hard to telework. But I don't see big changes to telework. It's kind of, district telework policy will probably get tweaked a little bit. Where's Greg? Hey, you want to talk for a second on what's changing in the telework policy?
We are looking at the policy per the Colonel's recommendation. And at this point, the only thing we're really looking at is looking at making sure that we're consistent with any of the other federal requirements. So really not a lot of significant changes to the program at this point. In fact, probably very small if there are anything. So a little bit more as we get that developed. We'll be in communication.
Thanks, Greg. We had another question back here. Okay, one. Wait for it. Over there.
Yeah, I just had a question. You were talking about hiring more people and bringing them in. Has the Corps ever considered doing a salary survey for engineers to see how our salaries compare with the outside private firms and also with other federal agencies?
Not that specifically, but what I can tell you is at the last regional governance meeting, which we had here in Baltimore, it's where Major General Milhorn came down, all the district commanders and the DPMs got together. We had Corps of Engineers, HR join us, and also an SES from the Missile Defense Agency, MDA. And the reason we brought in MDA is because they have a system called ACDemo, short for Acquisition Demo. I can't remember what the other acronym is. Demonstration? Okay. Well, who cares? It is a pay banding system that they're using. So Missile Defense Agency has the general schedule, GS, they have GG, they have one other system, and they have this ACDemo pay banding system. And this is it's not NSPS that went away a few years ago. It's an actual pay banding system. And they've been running it for probably 10 years now. And I can tell you that General Milhorn is looking at that very, very hard. I think the St. Louis district is the district in USACE that's piloting this program right now to some extent. And General Milhorn is asking me and Tom Jacobus, is this something that we should look at pushing for the aqueduct in the short term? And just to test it out. So, can't tell you what the financial impact is of this system on the district or on the employee, but in general, from what we learned from MDA was, generally salaries went up when you considered the bonuses that occurred at the end of the year. There's like a base level salary, depending on what your job is. Let's say you're an engineer, you'll grade out on a scale of like 1 to 100, and then your performance will be evaluated in a system. It's not DPMAP, it's another system. If we go to ACDemo, we get away from DPMAP. And then a panel meets, and they will determine, based on your performance, the level of bonus you get. And from what I saw, it looks like a pretty good system. It could work. So we'll be looking at that in the future as well. So just hang on. That's what I can tell you. Anybody from the corporate board? Dave, anything to add to that? The three.
We do have some HR tools like recruitment bonus, relocation bonus, retention bonuses, student loan repayment programs, things like that. We're pulling everything out of the toolbox that is allowable to try to, compete for the best talent possible. But right now, the tools are limited.
Okay, thanks. Hey, we're right up against our time, so we're going to go ahead and close it out and end on time. If you have a question, you didn't get to ask it, feel free to come up afterwards or bring it up through your supervisory chain or just communicate directly through the anonymous inbox. I would like to thank everyone for attending today. I'd like to thank CCO for putting, resourcing this event and putting it together. So let's give CCO a big hand and all our folks. Inspector Sheets and our friends from FPS, thanks for your attendance today and all your continued support. All the stakeholders that attended today, retirees, good to see you, and we'll do this again, probably in about 6 months. So, yep, hold on. You have an announcement?
For the deployees who are deployed in 17, you go to the red table. 18 and 19, go to the black table. Is that right, Dory? Reverse that. What I just said, reverse it. 18, go to the...
Okay. All right. Have a good day. Be safe.